So, hey, y'all. It's just me and Teresa in the kitchen today because Eddie has gone to Albany to pick up Aunt Peggy. So, I can't hardly wait to see her and get her here. And she's just, living alone. She's just a little bitty breath of a fixing to be 95-year-old. And so it's my desire when she comes, even if it's for just 3 or 4 days, it's my goal to try to put some meat on her little bones. And I know that she loves pork chops, and we ran up on a recipe. It's not mine, but it sounded good. So we're going to try it. You and me together. We're going to try this, okay? But if it says pork chop, I'm in. It's got to be good. All right, so I'm going to start with buttermilk, y'all. Start with the buttermilk. And buttermilk and pigs just go together. They just go together, y'all. All right, I'm going to take some garlic powder. And I'm going to stir that in. Stir that in real good so it can get in the cracks of those pork chops. And I love a bone-in pork chop. It's just something so satisfying about gnawing on a pork chop bone. Does that make me sick or crazy or anything? Great satisfaction. Like one of the most exciting things. All right. So now we're going to take these big, beautiful pork chops, center cuts. They're center cuts because they have a tenderloin side to them. Now, one of them, the tenderloin disappeared. There's a little bit right there. So when you're at the store and you're shopping for pork chops, if you want a bigger tenderloin side, just go through them and select them. And you can get either like the rib chop or... That's a great tip. I didn't know that. Yes, or one with tenderloin on it. This is actually my favorite part down here to gnaw that because that fat's in it. All right, so I'm going to flip these over and coat them real good. And I'm going to put these in the refrigerator and let them sit for, gosh, a minimum of 30 minutes. And I think it would be all right if you wanted to do it overnight or do it that morning for supper. So I'm going to wash my hands. I'm going to get this in the refrigerator, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm ready, y'all. We got all this organized. Now, there's going to be 3 steps to this. Well, actually 4, counting the buttermilk. It's going to go from buttermilk to flour into the melted butter, and lastly into the oil. And, depending on how many pork chops you have, that's probably 3 tablespoons of oil. And I've got some paprika. That's going to help it brown. And then salt and pepper for flavor. Now, these pork chops have been sitting in this buttermilk for about 4 hours now. This is a tray that we already started on because having company tonight, I don't know how many pork chops I'm going to need. Okay, that's a beautiful chop. I don't care what you say. It's a beautiful chop. So I'm just going to coat that. Yeah, my hands are going to be a mess. I'm going to have to wash every second. Into the butter. And then into the oil. Holy moly. It's supper time, supper time, supper time. All right, last one, y'all. If you were cooking this for a crowd, I might suggest that you do the boneless pork chops Because the bone-in, they're big. They're just big. Where the boneless are, a little smaller. So you could get a bunch on a tray. So y'all, the amount of ingredients that you put in your pans to do this process, it doesn't have to be exact because it depends on how many pork chops you got, how big they are, and all that. Look at here. You know what? That is a waste. That is a waste. And around here, we don't like wastes. So it didn't say to do this in the recipe, but when have I ever followed a recipe all the way? Not even my own. I decided, Teresa, that was a lot of oil. So I'm going to put it on a clean baking sheet. I don't think my idea was so hot. And I sure don't want to make them greasy. Not a pork chop. Not a pork chop, honey. Okay, we're putting this in the oven at 350. We're going to cook it for 25 minutes. And I've told y'all countless times, I know, that pork in the current days is processed so safely. It's not like in the days where people would kill their hogs and process them themselves, and then you would get involved with trichinosis and a lot of bad things. So, you can actually eat a pork chop or tenderloin like medium, and they say it's safe now. So, in the oven, 25 minutes. Okay, y'all. Because these are thick pork chops, we wound up cooking them about 30 minutes. You think, Teresa, it said 25, but yep. I've got a commercial oven and it cooks. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. If that doesn't look like a fried pork chop, grits ain't groceries. I love it. I love it. It looks like I stood up there and fried it. And that's why the process for the oil and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna taste this because I don't want it to be half eaten before supper. So let me see. I want to try to find a little longer platter. But Michael, you can have one if you would like. I want you to look at that. Look at that, Michael. You would not know that I hadn't been standing up there deep frying those pork chops, would you?
They look great.
Incredible, incredible. But now I hadn't tasted it. But look at Michael. Won't you look at that face? He's on a diet, y'all. So this would be like heaven. All right, so you go ahead and eat your chop, fat boy.
Hey, why don't you try it?
That's for you, cuckoo.
Thank you.
Cuckoo. Yum. Hear the crunch. You hear that crunch? Oh, I love that piece down there. That's my favorite.
You want it?
No. Steve. I know
I might have to let it cool off.
We got a winner, y'all.
That is a winner.
Winner, winner, pork chop dinner. I believe I will have that little bite.
Yeah, have my fork.
Because I trust you. But Mm.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever fry another pork chop on top of the stove. I really don't. Because when I fry pork chops, you have to fry so many that by the time you get through frying them all, the first batch is cold. So y'all put this in your pocket and don't lose it. And you know I'm always trying to send y'all love and best dishes. Always.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.